What's up, guys? This is Todd Clark, What You Want Sports, and today is the day. I finally get to talk about it because it's July. That means it's almost August. That means it's almost September. That means it's almost football season. As you can see, I got my Dolphins gear on. I'm hyped for this season. I want to do a season preview of every division, and I'm starting with the best one. You already know. I'm talking AFC East. I'm going to go through every team, kind of little things I think people need to look for, players need to watch, and just overall record predictions. So let's get started. First team we're talking about, it's my Miami Dolphins. Love them. Been Dolphins fan for a while. Everyone's kind of writing us off this year. I've seen record predictions between 2 wins and 4 wins. But yeah, I got 5. And I'm going to show you the record right now, kind of a breakdown of all the teams playing each other. Yeah, I have us going 3-3 in our division. I like where this team's going. I think we're going into rebuild mode, but I think we have too much talent to honestly fully tank. Love Brian Flores. His quote is, "Takes no talent." He's really trying to enforce these guys that you don't have to be a Pro Bowler or be making millions and millions of dollars to show us what you got. All right, we got a young defensive core. All right, DNs are lacking, but you know, we get Christian Wilkins at that D tackle spot that I already thought was kind of deep with Devon Gosho, and then we got Jerome Baker, who I think is gonna be a Pro Bowl this year. Mark it off right now, Pro Bowl this year, Jerome Baker. And then my boy Minkah Fitzpatrick, who if he was on a better team, would have been definitely higher up in the Defensive Rookie of the Year categories. I think we can all agree. And then you got X, who's locking up, shutdown corner. All right, but yeah, so main storyline is Josh Rosen. You know, what's he gonna do? Sounds like Dolphins camp, he's not impressing too much. Seems like he's kind of looking like he did at Arizona. I think he's honestly just adjusting to this new system, but hopefully with Jim Caldwell and Chad O'Shea, you know, they can kind of work together, work with him, he can get with the offense, and he can eventually show us some flashes this year. But it seems like first couple weeks, it's probably gonna be Ryan Fitzpatrick running the show. Yeah, still pretty weak offensive line. I really like Michael Dieter for us from Wisconsin. I think he's really gonna help us. I think interior lines, what we've really struggled with. We let Juwan James go. Too much money for average right tackle. We still got Laramie. We got this. But yeah, you know, after looking through their schedule, I kind of have, you know, record predictions, and I'm going with their best win and their best loss. Their best win, I have it, write it down, week 2 versus New England Patriots in Miami. We saw the Miami Miracle last year. This year is going to be no different. I don't know what it is about Tom Brady, but he cannot win in South Beach, and I am excited to see that. I'm very excited to watch that game. I think New England this year, like most years, I think they're going to come out. They always just reshape their whole roster, and they get together by the end of the season. But at the beginning of the year, like we saw when they lost to Jacksonville last year, pretty badly in the first couple weeks, they seem to have to kind of get things ramped up again. So I'm hoping Dolphins can win. I think that's going to be their best win of the year. And then we're going worst loss. And that's going to be week 6 to the Washington Redskins, who don't think is a bad team. But to lose to Washington at home, I think it's going to be a pretty bad loss. Not a fan of it, but there you go. That's the Miami Dolphins. Really excited. Fins up. All right, now, next team we're talking about is the Buffalo Bills. A weird team. I think they're kind of in a weird spot right now. They're sort of mediocre. I think they have a great defense. I actually think they're going to have a top 5 defense. Hey guys, real quick, I noticed while I was editing this video, I forgot to mention the Bills record before I started talking. I mentioned it at the end, but yeah, I have the Bills going 8-8 and 3-3 in their division. Yeah, so back to the video. Thanks. Defense this year. They just have Ed Oliver coming in for Kyle Williams, who, if he was on a better team, if you watch his career, followed his career, you know he's honestly a Hall of Fame talent who just happened to be stuck in Buffalo for 13 years, which just sucks for him. But yeah, but then they got a guy like Ed Oliver. I had 3rd on my draft list, just barely behind Quentin Williams and Nick Bosa. Kid's a stud, super athletic. Not Aaron Donald. He's not Aaron Donald. No one's Aaron Donald. He's not going to have the sack production of Aaron Donald, but run stopper, you have to double team this guy or else he's getting through. And then you got Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds last year, again, great young linebacker, freak. Still learning the game, still learning how to play the linebacker position, but just a freak. Flies over the field. We saw it at Virginia Tech, and we saw it at Buffalo last year. Love him. And then you got Tre'Davious White, and then you have a pretty good secondary. But yeah, doing that, going out, getting a guy like Frank Gore, who I think is just going to help with locker room chemistry, because that offense, they're needing some help. They're going to need some help. We all saw Josh Allen last year. It's tough when a quarterback's best games is mainly running. In the past, it's not really been a good sign for players, but I do think Josh Allen has a lot of potential. I think he can be a really good quarterback. He has a freaking cannon. But yeah, needs to work on some things. I think the offense is still going to be a work in progress. That's why I have him going 8-8. They signed a guy, Mitch Morris, got him from Kansas City, a good center. So hopefully help him have a little more time in the pocket where he can actually work on those downfield passes that he's kind of hit or miss at. But again, kid's a stud, freak talent, but let's see if he can kind of put it all together this year. And so yeah, so for their best win, I have them winning week 1 against the New York Jets. I think the Jets are going to come out this year. I think they got a lot of things they're working on. Adam Gase is a my way or the highway type of guy. I know personally. I think he's going to come in there, going to want things his way, and it's going to take a little while for the Jets to adjust. But yeah, I think Buffalo goes in there, they hit him in the mouth, and they take the first week. I think Buffalo starts the season 1-0. Their worst loss is going to be Week 14 to Baltimore. It's going to hurt them. I have them in a position for a playoff push, and then losing to Baltimore just kind of ruins it for them. And they go on kind of a losing streak, kind of a skid towards the end of the season, which is typical Buffalo Bills fashion. But yeah, I don't think anything changes this year. I think it's going to be a defensive-heavy team, but that offense just doesn't have the star power with their aging running backs and a suspect offensive line. So now we go to the other team in New York, I guess the main team now because the Giants suck, the New York Jets. I have them going 9-7, solid season. I have them just missing the playoffs, just missing that wild card spot, but obviously showing a lot more promise from a 14-12 season this year before. Obviously, huge signing. Get a guy like Le'Veon Bell. I think he's still going to be. He was probably top running back before he left. I think he'll come back this year. I think he'll be around a top 5 running back. They're going to give him a lot of touches. I know Adam Gase, just being from a Miami fan, I don't know. He likes to spread the ball around. He doesn't really like to feed his best players. So we'll see how he does with that. But yeah, Le'Veon's going to help a lot. Getting a guy like Kalichi Osemele, who has been a top guard. He was just stuck in Oakland, which sucks for him. But now he gets to go to New York. They have a solid left side of that offensive line. They have an okay offensive line, but I think they'll be pretty good. Sam Darnold, I think he makes a pretty big leap this year. He has potential for that 4,200, 35-plus touchdown seasons. Now, this isn't going to be 35 touchdowns and 3 picks, okay, because he likes taking shots. He has a very confident arm, and he's loose with the ball. I still think he's going to throw probably 14-plus interceptions, just because that's the type of quarterback he is. Andrew Luck's the same way. Guys like that, they know they can make every throw. They make mistakes because that window closes a lot tighter than they think they can, and they trust that arm. But yeah, you had a guy like Quinnen Williams to that defense. You had a guy like C.J. Mosley. Great front 7. Jamal Adams in that secondary. Cornerbacks are a little suspect. But yeah, that defense is a work in progress. But I really do think that offense this year could really blow up and have a big year. We're going to see how Adam Gase does. I think this team has talent to win 10, 11 games. But I don't think Adam Gase is that good of a coach. I saw it in Miami. I'm sorry, I don't think he's that good of a coach. He is a locker room guy. I think he's a negative locker room guy, and I wonder how he's going to do with Le'Veon if Le'Veon's not getting his touches, which I think can really hurt them. Lastly, my rookie stud for them, Ja'Kai Polite. I loved him out of Florida. I hate when players fall just because of a combine. And I know people combine, and you look back at the film, you say, okay, that first step isn't as quick as we thought it was, and then it's kind of verified with his time. But I really like him. I really like him in a 3-4 system. I think he's a good run stopper, pretty good pass rusher, but I think with Leonard Williams and Quinnen Williams on the D-line, they're going to get enough pressure to where he's not going to face a lot of double teams or anything like that. And so, yeah, I really like that signing for them. He's really going to help. So I have their best win is going to be Week 5 in Philly. Week 5 in Philly. I think Philly's going to be a solid team this year, respectable team this year. And I think for New York to be able to go in there, beat a team like Philly who's going to have a lot of veterans, is going to show that this young team is ready within these next couple of years to possibly take over this division, because I do think the Jets are going to take over this division within the next 2 to 3 years. Worst loss is the Bills' best win. I think they're going to lose Week 1 to the Bills. It's going to be tough for Jets fans. I know Jets fans are kind of tired of losing, and they're hearing this hype about, we're going to be good this year. We're going to be good this year. And they're all excited. I know how it is when your team and everyone's hyping your team up, and you're like, oh my God, we're going to be good. We got Le'Veon. We're going to be good. We signed a big free agent. And yeah, I just think they come a little flat. I think the Bills come out there and smack them. I think their defense just locks up Le'Veon. I think they showed they have still a lot of holes in that right side of their offensive line. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about the Jets. Again, 9-7, 2-4 in the division. But yeah, a solid team, somewhat playoff contender. I don't have to make the playoffs. So now, shocker, we got the divisional favorites. They've been the divisional favorites since ever. New England Patriots, I got them going 12-4, 4-2 in the division. I mean, what can you say about the Patriots past that people already know? You got Tom Brady, who's getting older. I do think, obviously, you can't play forever. I remember when Peyton Manning fell off, it just happened, and no one saw it coming. And I know Tom Brady's posting 61 miles an hour. He's throwing a football, and he looks great, and I'm sure he's still working really hard. But eventually, Father Time catches you, but not this year. Tom Brady still has a solid season. I do think, obviously, they're starting to mask him a little bit. I know he's never been a deep threat thrower, but he's really starting to hit those checkdowns. And I think getting a guy like N'Keal Harry is really going to help that. I really like that pick, N'Keal Harry. I thought there were multiple wide receivers that should have went in the first round, and he was one of them. I really don't know why. I mean, I'm glad he went in the first round. I had a couple guys ahead of him, but I still think he's a really good talent. I really do think he's a Des Bryant type, where he can just get the ball. He doesn't have the surest of hands, but he has that ability to just wow you. Take the ball on a 5-yard slant and just go all the way down the field, trucking people. I mean, the man, you got to watch him return punts in college. At his size of 6'2", 220, to have the agility he has is really special. And then you add a guy like Sonny Michel, who I know history tells us that running backs in the New England Patriots system don't normally get more touches as their careers go on. But I do think Sonny Michel does. I think he earned it. I think he's going to come into camp. He's a big boy. He's fast. And I think they're going to love him. And I think you're going to have James White, who's going to keep complimenting him. And he's just going to turn into that straight-up receiving threat. I think we're actually going to see him in the slot sometimes this year. I really like that for him. Their stud rookie, I really like Chase Winovich from Michigan. I had him as a first-round talent. I think the dude's a beast. He was all over the field. I think Devin Bush took a lot of his hype just because he ran better. But, yeah, I really like Chase Winovich. I think he's going to come in and he's going to play really well for them. Big question is, Dedrick Wise. I saw a picture of him. Looks good. Looks like he put on some weight. But, it's tough to replace Trey Flowers. But like the Patriots have done time and time again, doesn't matter who's on that roster, they win. With a great offensive line, Again, they just keep adding depth to that offensive line. Best offensive line in football. Brady doesn't get touched, and he can just sit back there and kind of do what he wants. No Gronk. I don't think that's going to hurt them in the regular season because he's kind of been out. You know, he doesn't really play much in the regular season, but then he comes in the playoffs, and that's when you're going to miss Gronk. So I think the Patriots are going to miss him this postseason. That's why I don't have him win the Super Bowl, but that's in a later video. And yeah, so also I just want to give 2 shout-outs. Keon Crossan, he was in my accounting class at Western Carolina. He's on the Patriots. He got a ring. He's a corner. I think he's going to get a big role this year. He's a speedster. He's a beast. He's just an athlete. I really expect him to get a bigger role in the Patriots this year. Same thing with Braxton Berrios, 919. He went to Leesville. He went to my high school. Graduated with him. He's getting some hype. People are really talking about he looks like Danny Amendola. And I think with guys like N'Keal Harry and Julian Edelman that are typically outside guys, you can use a guy like him working the slot. So I think he's actually going to have a pretty big year, around 500, 600 yards. And then, so their best win, I have them winning at Kansas City, Week 14. That's just a big win. Kansas City, again this year, they've worked on their defense a little bit, got some free agents, traded for a couple guys like D Ford, and so that's going to be a big win for them because I have them winning the next 3 games after that. So I think that they come in that game, they're 8-4, they go in there, I think they beat Kansas City and say, hey, we're ready for the playoffs, and they just roll all the way to the playoffs and get a bye. Worst loss, Miami's best loss, Week 2 to Miami. I think at the end of the season, that's going to be the game where people after it are going, well, I don't know, they're not that good. Are they that good anymore? And then they obviously go into the playoffs, and who knows? They probably win another ring. It's Tom Brady. But yeah, I think Miami beats them. I think Miami comes out. I think we see a little Fitzmagic Week 2, and they get the dub. So yeah, that's kind of my preview. Again, Patriots 12-4, the Jets 9-7, Bills 8-8, Miami 5-11. I think it's a competitive division. I think both the Pats, Jets, and the Bills could all make the playoffs just based off of their defense. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. I have video ideas. I don't know if it's what you want. Let me know if there's something you'd like. I'm going to try kind of a bunch of different things and see what works, what gets traction. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys. And enjoy your 4th of July tomorrow. I'm signing off. Peace.